Hi, I'm Piero. I'm an artist and I love to cook. Welcome to my
Hello everyone. Today we're going to be making Tonnarelli Cacio Pepe. For those of you who visited Rome, you know the wonderful taste of this pasta. So I'm really excited to share this recipe with you. But before we get started, okay, the first thing that we're going to do is the pasta, the Tonnarelli. That's the type of shape that it is. With the same dough I'm going to teach you how to do today. You can make any shape you like, any shape you know. So we're going to get started. Here we have our ingredients. I have flour, some eggs, a little bit of salt. And that's all there is to it. Just keep in mind this particular ratio. You want 100 grams and 1 egg per person. I'm gonna put my flour in the bowl now. And then we're gonna crack the eggs. And I'll add a sprinkle of salt as well. And then you can begin to work the dough with your hands. Some people do this with a fork if you prefer. I just like using my hands. So I will just incorporate the dough. Once the dough has come together, at this point you can either work it in the bowl, or if you prefer, you can begin to work it on a surface like this. And essentially I want to work it for maybe about 10 minutes until I get a pretty homogeneous mixture. So I'm going to just knead my dough until it's completely smooth. Okay, here we have our dough. It's now an homogeneous dough. And you see the color of it. It's amazing yellow. This just comes from the semola and good quality eggs. So I just love this color. Now it's gonna rest for 30 minutes. We're gonna put a little cellophane so it doesn't dry out. This is so that all the dough and the egg really comes together, really hydrates throughout. I'm gonna put it here and put a little cellophane on the top. Just like that. And we'll just leave it here on the counter, 30 minutes at least.
Stir the bar. 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 Stir the stir the stir the stir the bar. Stir the stir the bar. Stir the stir the stir the bar. Stir the stir the bar. Stir the bar. Stir the bar. Stir the bar. Stir the bar.
So half an hour has gone by. We are now ready to portion the dough to roll it out. The size of the dough that you're gonna portion depends a little bit on the size of the working surface that you have and the type of rolling pin that you have. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can also use like a bottle of wine or something like that. So I'm gonna take out my dough from the bowl and I'm gonna create 4 portions in my case. So I'll just go through and create 4 balls. This. I will start and roll the dough. So I just can rotate it. If it gets too sticky, you're gonna just put a little more flour. It keeps the dough dry and prevents it from sticking. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep on rolling it and then moving it and rolling it until I get a dough that in this case should be about 1 or 2 millimeters tall. So while you're rolling for Tonnarelli, it's good to keep the dough as square as you can. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you know, you wanna keep it sort of a squarish shape. I think I'm getting pretty close. Here is the dough. It's looking pretty good. So now I'm gonna get ready to do the cutting. So I have my plate here where I'm gonna place the pasta. Again, I wanna sprinkle abundant semolina flour in my plate. I'm gonna prepare the pasta as I go. So the way I'm gonna do this, there's various tools for Tonnarelli that are kind of automatic pasta machines and so on. I like the texture and taste of handmade noodles, so I'm just gonna hand slice them. And to do so, again, flour, and the easiest way is just to make a little roll of it. So I'm going to kind of roll it up like this. So you're just rolling it up like a carpet. Now I'm ready to cut it. So I'm gonna take my knife, and Tonnarelli, again, we want almost like a square cross section. So I wanna go as close to 1 or 2 millimeters as I can. It's really handmade pasta. You can give it whatever shape you want. So I'm cutting all my little noodles. You can see, I'm just gonna unwind one. Here it is. I'm gonna place it here and just keep on cutting, just like this. All right, so now we got our noodles ready and we're ready to move to our cacio e pepe. So cacio means cheese in Roman. So I'm using a sheep cheese, Pecorino, that's sort of aged but not too much. The really aged ones can have a great flavor, but they can tend to be too salty. So I like to have something a little bit in between that will give me creaminess while not giving me too much salt. And then here I have some pepper grains. So I will start by grating the cheese. I will just cut these away. So now that my cheese is ready, I'm going to just crush my pepper here. So I will go ahead with the pestle. Right, so now my water is boiling. So I would be ready for the pasta, but I want to prepare the sauce. So I'm going to put a little bit of boiling water in a pan like this. Not too much, just enough to cover the bottom, and add my pepper into the pan. This allows the pepper to infuse in the warm water, almost like a tea. So I'm just gonna leave it steeping in the water. Okay, so the pepper is there. Now I'm gonna go on to the cheese sauce. To make the cheese sauce, I'm also taking some of the boiling water, and I have here my grated cheese, and I will just add a little bit of the hot water. You don't want it super boiling, but pretty hot. And I will begin to mix it. As I'm mixing this, I can see I'm getting a pretty creamy consistency. I don't want it to be too liquid. It should be something nice and creamy that just looks good. Okay, everything is ready now. My water is boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt in the water and then drop my pasta in there. Strain my pasta, and I'm just going to put it in the pan here. And now it's time for our sauce. All right, now our pasta is ready. I'm gonna go ahead and make our plates. Alright everyone, thank you so much for joining me for the making of cacio e pepe. You can make this with your own pasta if you want. I just love this recipe. Please send me pictures of your recipe and leave me some comments. I'll see you next time. Ciao.